Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood to look at what makes the world's top companies truly unbeatable. I mean, we hear so much buzz right now about artificial intelligence transforming business, but how exactly does that happen out there in the real world? Well, spoiler alert, it is not just about buying the smartest software. We're about to explore the invisible machinery that turns a pretty good company into an absolute powerhouse. Now, this entire explainer is grounded in some phenomenal material developed by Professor Yossi Aviv over at the Color School of Management at Tel Aviv University. His core thesis here basically changes everything. He says competitive advantage emerges when AI becomes one component of a larger operational system. Think about that. AI by itself, not a silver bullet. Just installing a fancy algorithm isn't going to save you. Sustainable advantage literally only happens when AI is woven deep into the very fabric of your operations. Okay, let's dive into this. To really get it, we need to look at the difference between what's visible and what's invisible. When you look at an industry giant, say Southwest Airlines, what do you actually see? You see friendly crews. You see low fares. When you look at Amazon, you see a slick website and a cardboard box showing up on your porch, right? That's the visible part. But what actually makes them win is entirely invisible to us. It's the network design, the standardized fleets, the fulfillment algorithms, the intricate scheduling processes. Operation strategy is almost always invisible from the outside. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is that to win with AI, you have to build out this invisible architecture. Let's look at 4 quick stories to see exactly how companies are pulling this off. Story number 1, the learning factory. Imagine a manufacturer whose ultimate goal isn't just churning out cheap products, but actually learning faster than their competitors. Historically, their factory data was a total mess. You had machines, operators, and quality inspectors all generating completely fragmented information. When they finally brought in AI to find patterns, they realized pretty quickly that predictions alone did absolutely nothing. So they completely redesigned their operations from the ground up. First, they deployed sensors everywhere to gather richer data. Second, they standardized processes so that data actually meant the exact same thing across different facilities. Third, they actively trained their frontline workers to interpret what the AI was actually saying. And fourth, and honestly this is huge, they redesigned their performance reviews to explicitly reward experimentation. So what's the real paradigm shift here? The true capability they built wasn't artificial intelligence. It was organizational learning. AI just gave that capability a massive turbo boost. The training, the data collection, the incentives, they all reinforced each other until the factory itself became this living, breathing learning system. Moving on to story 2, the anticipatory supply chain. Now picture a retailer who wants to make sure customers always find exactly what they need, even when demand is just wildly uncertain. Initially, they brought in AI to build these incredible forecasting models, analyzing weather patterns, social media signals, market trends, the whole shebang. And their forecast accuracy absolutely skyrocketed. But guess what? Better forecast didn't magically stop stockouts. To actually win, they had to build a surrounding capability system. They completely redesigned their inventory policies. They gave suppliers much earlier visibility into those demand signals. They made their distribution centers flexible enough to redeploy transportation on a dime. And they completely shifted their core metrics away from simple forecast accuracy to actual, real-world service levels. It just goes to show prediction and execution have to be tightly linked. The real capability here is not forecasting, it's anticipation. AI gives you the crystal ball, sure, but it's the operational flexibility that actually empowers the organization to take action before the customer even realizes they need something. All right, story 3, scalable personalization. For this one, we're looking at a service organization trying to solve a notoriously expensive challenge, making every single customer feel individually understood, but doing it at a massive scale. Now, AI is amazing at analyzing customer histories and behaviors in real time to generate personalized recommendations. But an insight is completely useless if your frontline team can't actually deliver it. Look at the operational alignment they had to pull off here. They had to integrate all their scattered customer data channels. They had to equip their service reps with dynamic decision support tools on the fly. They literally had to redesign their processes to handle infinite individual variations. And, crucially, they had to train their people to use their own human judgment rather than just blindly reading off a rigid script. The end result? Scalable personalization. The algorithm is what generates the insight, but it's those carefully crafted operational processes that let human judgment and technology work together in perfect harmony. And that, for sure, is how you deliver a bespoke, VIP experience to millions of people simultaneously. And that brings us to our 4th and final story, the autonomous decision network. This story features a massive global organization where speed is literally everything. Whoever decides fastest wins. Now, the traditional bottleneck in large organizations is that information slowly flows up the chain of command, and then decisions slowly trickle back down. It's a total recipe for delay. But with AI, you can actually push recommendations directly to the local decision makers instantly. You move away from this rigid hierarchy and step into AI-empowered, decentralized execution, all while maintaining centralized coordination. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You can't just hand everyone an AI tool and tell them to go rogue. This requires incredible governance. To make this work safely, they explicitly pushed authority down to the front lines, but they paired it with strict common operating procedures. They strictly enforce data standards all across the globe. Plus, they defined crystal-clear escalation mechanisms for those moments when either the AI or the human was unsure of what to do. Because of this brilliant organizational design, the company achieves the holy grail. It becomes both radically faster and significantly more coordinated. The AI is what accelerates the decision, but the operational design is what ensures those fast decisions actually create immense value instead of total chaos. Conclusion time. Seeing the whole puzzle. So what does this all mean for you? How should executives actually view operations strategy in the age of AI? When we study business, we usually learn concepts as these isolated little bullet points. You learn forecasting on Tuesday, automation on Wednesday, and artificial intelligence on Thursday. But as Professor Aviv's research makes abundantly clear, operations strategy is never just about the individual pieces. It's like a giant puzzle. It's all about this invisible architecture connecting everything together. The firms that win in the future won't just have the smartest algorithms. They're going to be the ones where technology, processes, people, incentives, and data are all intentionally designed to reinforce one another. Which leaves us with the ultimate question for you as an executive or a business leader. Take a hard look at your own organization right now. Have you just bought isolated AI tools hoping for a miracle? Or are you actively building a coherent operational architecture? Sustainable advantages out there waiting for those who can actually connect the pieces. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay focused, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.